Flacco brings veteran wisdom, Pickett has starting experience, but Sanders? He brings star potential. And in a league where the unexpected becomes reality every Sunday, don't be surprised if Shedeur Sanders forces his way into the conversation. Veteran poise will likely secure the primary backup role, and Dylan Gabriel has shown encouraging flashes of potential. So if Shedeur Sanders wants to stand out, he'll have to grind relentlessly, and that's exactly what makes this storyline so captivating. Sanders isn't just hoping for a roster spot, he's battling to earn it. Quick pause. If you want YouTube to keep pushing the latest Browns news to your feed, hit that like button now. It's quick, it matters, and it keeps the momentum rolling. Thank you. Now back to the big reveal. What's truly fascinating is how Sanders is embracing the challenge. Despite limited reps with the Browns' first-team offense, he's maintained laser-sharp focus and a resilient mindset. In his interviews, Sanders has made it clear he's willing to do whatever it takes to secure a place on this roster. Whether that's stepping up in practice, showing quiet leadership, or being ready the moment his name is called. He's taken a mature, professional approach, acknowledging that the NFL is a business and that true opportunity is seized through preparation and perseverance. And that mindset is crucial for any young player, especially one with a high-profile background like his. Now, zooming out to the bigger picture, the Browns are at a defining crossroads. They've invested heavily, both financially and emotionally, in Deshaun Watson, betting big that he's the long-awaited franchise quarterback. But the reality? Injuries and off-field controversies have cast a long shadow of uncertainty over that investment, which is why a dependable backup or even a potential successor becomes a vital piece of the puzzle. If Sanders can showcase the explosiveness and vision he demonstrated at Colorado, he could emerge as a true dark horse, a hidden gem in a quarterback battle most think is already settled. And let's not forget, this Browns coaching staff has a proven track record of developing talent. That developmental culture could be Sanders' greatest advantage if he's granted a real opportunity. Now, consider the landscape of the AFC North, arguably the most unforgiving division in football. Baltimore boasts the electrifying Lamar Jackson and a playoff-ready roster. Cincinnati is anchored by Joe Burrow and a stacked, opportunistic defense. Pittsburgh remains dangerous with a rock-solid defense and rising QB Kenny Pickett. In a division this competitive, even the smallest edge can tip the balance. If Cleveland can nurture Sanders into a legitimate backup or eventually a starting caliber quarterback, it could be the X factor that pushes them past the competition in critical moments. Let's also reflect on the Browns' quarterback legacy. From the days of Bernie Kosar to the endless carousel of short-lived starters, this franchise has long craved consistency at the position. And every season, fans dare to hope that this year might finally be the one. A rising star like Sanders, if properly developed, could be a part of that long-awaited breakthrough. So, what's next? All eyes now turn to training camp, the battleground where Sanders must prove he belongs. The coaching staff will assess more than just arm strength and mobility. They'll be evaluating his football IQ, his command of the playbook, and his leadership intangibles. Then comes the preseason, a spotlight moment where legends are born and sleepers rise. This will be his chance to shine when it counts in live game action. So Browns fans, stay locked in. The next few weeks will be pivotal. While the organization continues to ride with Deshaun Watson, they know the future can change in a heartbeat, and in Sanders, they might have a rare talent worth cultivating. In the end, this isn't just about one quarterback. It's about building a roster with resilience, vision, and depth. Whether Sanders becomes a future starter or a key reserve, his journey adds intrigue to an already electric offseason. So Cleveland faithful, what's your take? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters, not just to us, but to the entire Browns community. And don't forget, more breaking updates are on the way. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and stay proud. This is Cleveland Browns football at its finest. Breaking news out of Berea, a seismic shift is quietly unfolding, and it's not just about personnel or X's and O's. It's about something deeper. Belief in a new identity. belief in untapped talent, belief that what's been brewing behind the scenes during minicamp may erupt under the stadium lights this fall. Because let's be real, what just happened at Browns minicamp isn't some off-season footnote. This might be the spark that ignites a quarterback revolution in Cleveland. Hit that like button if you're ready to ride this wave with us. And buckle up, because this is going to get interesting. That spark? Dillon Gabriel. Yes, you read that right. The same Dillon Gabriel who orchestrated an undefeated Big Ten run at Oregon, dominated Penn State in the conference title game, and led his team to the No. 1 seed in the college football playoff. The same Gabriel who transferred from Oklahoma and was projected by many to fall beyond the third round of the NFL. And yet, the Cleveland Browns shocked the league by taking him in the third round. That alone stirred headlines, but what turned it into a full-blown quarterback controversy was the fact that Gabriel was selected while Shedeur Sanders was still on the board. The media darling, the fan favorite. The processing, the arm talent, it's all there. And while no one's penciling him in as the week 1 starter over Joe Flacco, let's be crystal clear. If Flacco doesn't take the opening snap, the only name that deserves to be in the QB2 conversation is Shedeur Sanders. But Sanders isn't the lone rookie turning heads. Quinshawn Judkins is making the game look effortless, as in NFL ready from day one. Effortless. The way he's slicing through the defense, the burst he shows coming out of the backfield, it's textbook. Sports Illustrated nailed it when they labeled Judkins as a prototypical NFL running back. This isn't about potential, it's about proven readiness. Strength, patience, explosiveness, he's got the complete package. And let's not forget the landscape in Cleveland's running back room. With uncertainty swirling and opportunities wide open, Judkins isn't just knocking on the door. He's about to bulldoze it down. He could be carrying the load for this offense far sooner than expected. Then there's Carson Swessinger, another young up-and-comer stealthily emerging from the shadows. You don't often hear about rookie linebackers commanding the spotlight early, but Swessinger is the exception. His football IQ is off the charts. Jordan Hicks couldn't stop raving about his instincts, his play recognition, his ability to drop back into coverage, his relentless pursuit of the ball. This guy is already being whispered about as a potential defensive signal caller, a future green dot. If you're a Browns fan searching for the next defensive leader, you might want to keep your eyes on Noah 53. And let's not forget Jerry Jeudy, who's not just cementing himself as a reliable wideout, but emerging as the guy in the receiver corps. The chemistry he's building with Joe Flacco? It's real. When the dust settled on the practice stat sheets, one name consistently rose to the top: S. Sanders. And let's be crystal clear. This isn't a fan's fantasy. It's real. It's unfolding in real time, Browns fans. We could be witnessing the rise of the next phase of our franchise. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean he's starting week 1. If we're being honest, and we always are, Joe Flacco still appears to be the early frontrunner, but that doesn't diminish what Sanders is bringing to the table. Among all the quarterbacks in the room, he possesses the highest ceiling. That's not hype, that's pure tape and talent. Considering where this franchise has been, the carousel, the question marks, the chaos, there's something profoundly satisfying about seeing a young QB step up, even if it's just May. Yet not everything in Berea was sunshine and spirals. While some players elevated, others vanished. Let's talk about Deontay Johnson, a no-show at OTA. Sure, these are voluntary, but Johnson's absence hits differently. This isn't an up-and-coming rookie or a battle-tested veteran skipping drills. This is a wide receiver on his final chance. Let's be real. He's worn out his welcome in locker rooms from Pittsburgh to Houston. He's got talent, no doubt, but when was the last time his name graced a positive headline? This was his opportunity to show commitment, to blend into a team culture that's rebuilding its identity, and instead, he ghosted. The concern here isn't just about a single practice. It's about perception. A guy on thin ice can't afford to be absent while others are grinding. He's reportedly been seen around the facility, but come mandatory camp, all eyes will be on him. His margin for error? Gone. On the flip side, the Browns' defensive line has been nothing short of dominant, disruptive, even fearsome. Mason Graham, remember that name. From rookie minicamp to OTA has been explosive, and not just by rookie standards. He's looking like someone who's already staking a claim on this defense. And let's not forget Joe Tryon, who brought so much heat he accidentally collided with a quarterback during drills. Was it a bit too much for OTA? Perhaps. But was it a sign of the ferocity this unit is bringing? Absolutely. This defense is building something you can feel in the trenches. If this group stays healthy, and that's always the big if, we could be looking at a top 5 unit in the league. No exaggeration. It's in the personnel, it's in the energy, it's in the intent. They're not just showing up, they're showing out. And now let's shift to the backfield, because it's not just crowded, it's evolving. Jerome Ford entered OTA as the presumed RB1, but listen closely and you'll hear the shift. Quinn Jenkins and Dylan Sampson have arrived, and they didn't show up just to watch. Jenkins looks like a feature back already. The burst, the vision, the confidence, it's all there. And Sampson, he might be the most dynamic, multi-talented back we've seen in camp this year. What does that mean for Ford? It could signal the start of a transition or the opening chapter in a potential trade discussion. The Browns are clearly embracing youth and explosiveness at running back, and right now, Jenkins looks like the one holding the keys to the kingdom, not by default, but by dominance. And just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Jerry Jeudy entered the scene. Finally healthy, finally comfortable, finally looking like the WR1 we envisioned when he arrived. What makes it even more thrilling is his chemistry with Flacco, who still throws the deep ball like he's got a 28-year-old cannon. They've been lighting it up in OTAs, and if Flacco ends up as QB1, we could see a downfield connection that brings explosive fireworks this fall. Now, here's where I want you to weigh in. Out of all these storylines, Shedeur's rise, Johnson's absence, the dominance of the defensive line, the battle in the backfield, and Judy's resurgence, which one captivates you the most? Now, while we're on the subject of chemistry and breakout performances, let's circle back to Shedeur Sanders one more time. The whispers inside the facility are growing louder. This isn't just about mechanics anymore. It's about leadership, about how the guys are responding to him. Multiple reports suggest that even though he's the youngest QB in the room, he's carrying himself like a veteran, calm, poised, and most importantly, coachable. Let's also take a moment to talk about Kevin Stefanski. The head coach has taken his fair share of criticism over the years, but if you're paying attention to what he's building now, it's clear he's not just trying to survive, he's looking to evolve. The way he's rotating quarterback reps evenly, that's not indecision, that's a challenge, pushing all of them to step up, and Shedeur seems to be answering that call. But the truth is, even with all this OTA hype, the Browns are walking a razor's edge. One injury, one locker room meltdown, one setback, it's all it takes to flip momentum into mayhem. That's why stories like Deontay Johnson's absence feel so much heavier than just a missed practice. It's not just about drills, it's about the message. If you're not locked in, you're out. This team doesn't have room for passengers. Meanwhile, other players are quietly stacking solid days. Dillon Gabriel, the other rookie QB, might not be lighting it up like Sanders, but he's not fading away either. If we've learned anything about quarterback rooms in the NFL, it's that depth matters. One injury can change everything, and for the Browns, having two young QBs hungry to climb the depth chart could be their most underrated asset this year. And let's not overlook that OTA attendance list. Yes, it was voluntary, but the names missing, Myles Garrett, Greg Newsome, David Njoku, these are leaders, veterans. And while no one's pressing the panic button, and Stefanski certainly isn't, their absence leaves a void. The next phase, mandatory, meets opportunity. Because here's the bottom line. This team is changing. Not on paper, but on the field. And, if you're not paying close attention, you might miss the birth of something that could define the Browns for the next 5 years. So now it's your turn. We've broken down the OTA standouts, the concerns, and the quiet battles brewing in Berea. What do you think is the biggest storyline heading into mandatory camp? Is it Shedeur's meteoric rise, the shakeup at running back, the Flacco-Judy connection, or maybe something else entirely? Leave a comment below and share your boldest prediction for the Browns. And if you haven't already, like this video and hit that subscribe button. Go Browns! Browns fans, brace yourselves, because what we're about to witness might be the most volatile and daring storyline in the entire NFL. Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, Joe Flacco, and Kenny Pickett, 4 quarterbacks, 1 starting job, and absolutely zero clarity. Yet, from recent Browns OTAs, one thing is becoming increasingly evident. Dillon Gabriel's name isn't just an afterthought. It's rising, and he's leaving a real impression. Locker room camaraderie, daily conversations, on-field synergy, it's all happening. Judy is proving he's ready to embrace the WR1 role with Elijah Moore out of the picture, and he's doing it with crisp footwork, sharp routes, and the veteran savvy that can transform this passing game into a legitimate threat. Assuming the quarterback play holds up, but for every riser, someone inevitably slides. And the biggest eyebrow raiser, Deontay Hardy, a complete no-show at voluntary OTAs. Now, yes, it's technically voluntary, but when you're a journeyman who's bounced from the Steelers to the Texans to the Ravens and now the Browns, you can't afford to miss reps. Especially not with a new team, a new coaching staff, and a new quarterback room. This was his chance to stake a claim, and instead, he's left fans with more questions than answers. Let's be honest. If it doesn't work in Cleveland, where does it work? And then there's the elephant in the room, Deshaun Watson. Harsh? Maybe. But real? Absolutely. Watson was absent from OTAs, and the vibe surrounding his status feels like a slow fade to irrelevance. 2 rookie quarterbacks have been drafted. Flacco was brought in, Kenny Pickett was traded for. The writing's on the wall. And it's in bold font. When you combine his injury history, off-field controversies, and declining performance, the road back to being the guy looks like a tightrope walk. Watson at QB5? That's not just a slide. It's a free fall. And speaking of Kenny Pickett, what exactly is his role in all this? Is he an insurance policy, trade bait? Maybe both. He's stuck in a limbo between starter and backup, but the arrow is definitely pointing down. He's QB2 right now, but with Sanders and Gabriel flash and promise, and Flacco locked in as QB1, Pickett might just be the odd man out. 2024 tape? Mediocre at best. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 5 appearances. That doesn't exactly scream franchise quarterback. It whispers backup. And perhaps that's the hidden opportunity here. If Pickett fails to climb the depth chart, maybe he finds new value elsewhere. On the trade block? The Browns could potentially reclaim a draft pick, maybe a 5th or 6th rounder. At this stage, that might be the most strategic outcome for both parties. But let's pump the brakes for a second, because there's so much more to unpack. You've just gotten the first wave of seismic shakeups from OTAs. The names you need to monitor, the futures that might already be sealed. But we're only halfway through. The second half is coming, and it's going to plunge even deeper into what all of this means for the 2025 season and how this roster might actually crystallize by week 1. Because when you look closely, these OTAs didn't just offer a sneak peek at who's leading, they gave us clarity on what's likely headed our way. Browns fans, make no mistake, this is a team at a pivotal crossroad. Thank you guys. See you next video.